Good morning. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. Good to see everybody. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded, and we're getting a new Kaspa all-time high as we speak, actually, right now, which is pretty absurd. Kaspa's just on a tear lately, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the new Ice River product, the Kaspa KS0 Pro that I just received yesterday. I actually dropped the video this morning, and I have a link in the live chat if you guys are interested in purchasing one. Get 5% off, so have fun with that. Now, we also have Kathy Woods, ARK Invest. She was on CNBC television talking about, honestly, just Bitcoin and how bullish she is on it. It's pretty nice to hear, right? The fear and greed index is actually back to a normal level, so that's really a good thing. Actually, the sentiment in the market's not as like crazy as it has been, because when things rise too fast, things fall too fast as well. So it's a double-edged sword. But anyways, let's check out what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see who's here, and then we'll go from there. Mr. Mining King, go back to bed, bro. It is like 6 a.m. Not even. It's like 5 a.m. where you are. Isn't it like 3-hour difference? What are you doing up? Go back to sleep. Jeez. Tim, I am Crypto. Good to see you. Greater Good Mining. Good to see you, buddy. We have All Set Miner, or All Set in the chat. I keep calling you All Set Miner. I apologize. I know you changed your name. Kyle Rosa, good to see you. Chris Hanley, Sloth Squash, Sea Dweller, good to see you. Anonymous Miner. Nick K, Bobby C says, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, Kaspa is the new king on the block. And I 100% agree. Guys, the music's too loud. Please let me know. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys are hanging out with me. Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Rudputs, what's going on, buddy? And Dan R. All right, let's get into this. Let's see. So we're going to start with the market as we always do. This is pretty much a stream where I do this anyways during the day, so why not do it with you guys? Prices, Solana is killing it, up 17.26%. It's at $62. I'm still kicking myself in the ass for not jumping on that train like a month and a half ago. We had actually some news, I guess, with Render. Render is actually going to be on the Solana network or something now. Somebody told me that last night, and I totally forget who. I think it was NerdBeast, actually. I think it was my man NerdBeast. Kaspa, again, this was just at 10.8. pushing its new all-time high, or it just broke it. I honestly don't know. We're going to check in a few minutes. Let's see. AVAX is up 14.73%, $19. We have Bitcoin is down a little bit today, but it's 36,234. We have Ethereum still holding over 2,000, which is a big deal. Check out Crypto Bubbles, the biggest earners on the week. You can see Kaspa is up 45.1%. It says 10.6, but it's actually 10.8 according to CoinGecko right now. Wait, hold on. They jumped up to, wow, they're in rank 30. That's a big deal. Holy shit. This coin is climbing the charts in the top 100 coins. That is wild. Good on Kaspa. Congrats to that team. That's insane. We have TIA, 169% on the week. Celestia. We have the FTT token, or FTX token, whatever you want to call it. 192%. That's thanks to Mr. Gary Gensler. Solana up 44%. On the week. Let's check out the day. Biggest earner on the day looks to be, wow, Kaspa's a close third, I guess. So we have Cake, which is 25.1. We have 25.1% up on the day. We have Ethereum DYDX. This is up, what is it, 24.1. Oh, sorry, TIA is actually up 26.2, and Kaspa is in fourth at 23.1. Man, it's actually a really, really bullish market overall today. This is awesome. All right, fear and greed index, check this out. We are at 60. So again, back down to more or less a neutral level for me. Anything between like 40 and 60 is really just like no man's land for me. When it starts pushing closer, like between 60 and 70, I start like watching this a lot more. But once it gets over 70, that's when I really try to keep an eye on this, because Warren Buffett says, I say this almost every single day, be greedy when people are fearful and be fearful when people are greedy. It's probably the best way to look about it. That's at least my opinion. Let's see. Galaxy Synthesis. Is it too good to last? Honestly, I was thinking that too with Kaspa at first, but now I really don't think so. All right, let's get into the top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, Solana, USDC, Lotto Stakes, Ether, Cardano, and Dogecoin still in 10th. Man, I'm going to scroll down real quick. I want to see. Kaspa says, so it says it's still in 32nd place here, but it said 30th over on Crypto Bubble. Sorry. Wow. If it's actually jumped up to 30, it's going to pass Ethereum Classic. Just think about that for a second. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's going to pass Ethereum Classic, and Ethereum Classic's been around forever. And if you guys are into merch, check out the description below. This is the Kaspa HODL mug and hoodie, and I have a little QR code on the screen if you guys are interested. But man, that's nuts. Gonna be flipping Ethereum Classic. Jesus, that's crazy. Blows my mind. Anyways, let's get into the mining segment of today. We're gonna check out the mine the ASIC, where we can see what the most profitable miner is of the day. Obviously, Kaspa is all the way at the top. We have the Wind Miner K9, $232.95 a day. We have the Bitmain KS3, 9.4 terahash, $211.43. I'm gonna be real, Bitmain is always way more expensive than like other companies, say like Ice River, or just honestly crypto miner bros, like anywhere. Like, I don't know why Bitmain's prices are just fucking absurd all the time, and it blows my mind. The Ice River KS3, which is only 8 terahashes, I'll be shocked if they don't come out with a new unit actually higher than this, looking at the Wind Miner. But that's making $179 a day. Looking at the KS2, getting $132 a day. The sorry, that was the KS3M. The KS2 is $43.89 a day. The KS1 is making $21.95. That's crazy. Oh, this is all at 10 cents per kilowatt hour, by the way. The Antminer L7, if anybody's interested in the price on that one, it's making $6.39 a day, again at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. The Jazzminer X16Q mining ETC and ZIL is making $5.02 per day. Let's just scroll down. I want to check out, so this is the Ice River, that's the old one. Where's the new one? Right here. KS0 Pro. This is the video I just dropped on my channel. If you guys didn't see it, go check it out. I did like a whole heat test on it where I actually used my infrared gun and saw like the heat spots and stuff. And don't miss the end, because the tricky thing about this unit is the what am I doing? There we go, trying to flip the screen. So the unit, when you unplug it and just plug it back in, right? So I unplugged it because I was moving stuff around on my counter, and then I just plugged it back in and put the Ethernet in, let it fire back up, and I'm like sitting there, and I walked by and I was like, damn, that thing feels really hot. So I ended up pulling out the thermal gun again, and I pointed at it, and I was like, holy shit, this thing's 132 degrees at like the hot point, right? So I guess it's normal for the thing to get that hot. That's what they claim anyways. I don't know how long that will last if it stays that hot, but I would recommend putting a fan on it, like 100%. I had one on my original KS0, so it's totally worth at least saving your ass in that aspect. You know what I mean? Don't burn up your machine if you don't have to. But it was very strange to see why the thing was burning up. And then I went into the software and I realized that in the GUI, even though you save the actual speed of the fans, right, at 100%, that's what I had it at, it goes to auto. Like as soon as you unplug it, it doesn't save, which is kind of strange. So just keep an eye on that. If you guys are not going to put a fan on this thing, make sure you, every time you unplug it, put that fan at 100% so you guys don't get absolutely burnt, because that's yeah, it's pretty shitty to say the least. But again, let's look over here. So hosting machine, what the hell? This is Ice River's website. Actually, I was just trying to check out the prices of these units. So again, the KS0, to be honest, at $429 for 200 gigahashes at 100 watts, this thing's kind of, I don't know, like it gives me the FOMO feeling again. Do you guys remember when those you know, the mini doges, when the mini doges came out? And I totally forgot to change this ticker on the bottom, damn it. Anyways, the mini doges, when those mini doges came out, you guys remember the FOMO feeling we all got? And it was like, oh, like we couldn't wait to buy them, the mini box miners. This is exactly how I feel about this Kaspa KS0. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to fix this thing. Man, I wish this thing would just like fix itself, but it doesn't. All right, there we go. Anyways, all right, so let me know what you guys think about this overall. The price here, again, in the pinned comment, if you guys are interested, there's an affiliate link, full transparency, but you do get 5% off, which is pretty cool, so that works out. All right, so next, let's get into the news segment of the day. We're going to talk about, so we showed this yesterday, the bogus BlackRock XRP filing spoofs ETF watchers and crypto traders. It says the fake filing sent XRP higher than more than 10% before the token gave back those gains. Now, again, like I said, we saw that yesterday. Today, this is XRP spike on hoax filing a bad look, but won't sway SEC's ETF approvals. So the only downside to people doing bullshit like they pulled yesterday, you know, spoofing the entire market and telling you that, you know, the XRP ETF is out and yada yada. It's just, it's not worth the the look that they put on crypto. I mean, it might be financially for them. They're just pretty much scamming everybody by making fake claims, right? There's gotta be ways to stop this type of stuff, like filing for that SEC or the BlackRock ETF rather, like the fake one that they did. Showing in the Twitter post that I showed you guys yesterday, it is literally way too simple for that stuff to be filed. So they need to have some sort of extra protocols to go on if they're going to be, you know, regulating this stuff. I mean, that's at least my opinion, but just it's kind of a bad look. So I'm not going to read this article, but I do have it down in the description below if you guys are interested. We just have a lot to watch today. So first things first, I think I want to start with, you know what, we're going to start over here first with ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood. Most people understand that Bitcoin is the money revolution, and this is very true, and she speaks a lot of good things here. So let's listen to this. You guys have any questions, just at me in the chat. Let's do it.
Let's talk about these ETFs, and then I want to go broad and sort of get your sense of where the market is and where crypto's going and what's happening here. But tell us about these ETFs specifically and what you're trying to do.
Yes, with our partner 21 Shares, which is the largest crypto ETP provider in the world, mainly European focused.
Real quick, sorry, I didn't address the chat real quick. Patrick Murphy did say, was that the KS0 Pro? And yes, it is. It's $429 for the KS0 Pro. It does not come with the what's it called, the power supply though, so make sure you guys know that. I highlighted that in the video. I think it's like 30 bucks or something they added. Oh, 20. It's only 20 bucks. Wow, that's way cheap. But after the 5% discount and taxes and shipping to my area, it was like 500 bucks. That's what it comes out to in total, so wasn't too bad. But anyways, all right, let's get back to this. Apologize.
We are launching 5 ETFs. The strategies are going to be around Bitcoin futures, Ethereum futures. One will be Bitcoin futures and cash. One will be Bitcoin futures and Ethereum futures. And then the last one will be broader Bitcoin and companies exposed to digital assets, right, equities.
How much of this is a dress rehearsal in your mind for a moment in which the SEC says, okay, cat's out of the bag, you can actually issue an ETF that's directly invested in Bitcoin?
Well, it certainly is a dress rehearsal. We think there's a place. I think these strategies will be more probably institutionally focused, and I think the spot coin Bitcoin ETF will be perhaps more retail focused. Is
that something you want to do eventually?
A spot Bitcoin?
Yes.
Yes. What's interesting about it is, if you look at the pecking order, our filing is next in line.
No, I know you're on the list. So
yes.
The question. So let me ask you about that, because I think, and the question is actually at $36,000. Do you think that the move that we've seen in Bitcoin over the last, I don't know what, 2 months now, how much of that is a function of sort of a pent-up demand or an anticipation that the SEC, because folks like BlackRock and Fidelity and you and others have made these applications, have the sense that it's more likely to happen now than it was a year or two ago?
Yeah.
And is that misguided? Is that realistic? What is that?
I think what has happened, the change, is that the SEC actually asked us questions. I think asked us questions, asked BlackRock, probably has asked a lot.
And that's a good point. They've been asking a lot more questions during the filings, and that's that means that they're at least actually considering it at this point, right? I mean, this is going to be inevitable. It's going to happen. It is absolutely going to happen. Nate G in the chat said, what would be the import tariffs to the U.S.? There shouldn't be any, because it's under 600 bucks, so you shouldn't have any tariffs, to be honest, as far as I know anyways.
Whereas before, our filings were just rejected outright.
Okay.
So that is movement. That is significant. And, you know, over the years, I've gotten to know the research people at the SEC, and I'm very impressed. And I was impressed by the questions they asked us, too. So
what were the kinds of questions they asked?
A lot of them were very technical. They're all about protecting the consumer. And, you know, of course, the showstopper, at least from Gary Gensler's point of view, is he thinks Bitcoin can be manipulated. And, you know, this is a decentralized, transparent network.
The only thing that's manipulating the market right now is Gary Gensler himself by saying stupid shit like, you know, FTX can relaunch as long as they follow clear guidelines or the rules that, you know, that pave the way, I guess, basically. And I mean, you can see it in the chart. Like FTX is up 200% or something stupid on the past like week. It's crazy.
You can follow all the activity online. It's highly unlikely.
Well, it had to be that because he understands, Kathy. He's got enough. Not many people do. Sure. A lot of people don't have enough knowledge about how it works to make an informed decision about Bitcoin. He taught at MIT so he understands that it's not a Ponzi scheme or a Beanie Baby. Right. So there has to be
Beanie Baby.
Something else.
Well, I don't know what it is. I have wondered. There's speculation that he's interested in the Treasury Secretary position at some point. What does the Treasury Secretary do?
Protecting fiat for the government? I mean,
very focused on. I don't know. I don't understand it myself because he definitely understands.
He understands. So there's something else.
There's something.
Okay, but how much do you?
He's just trying to buy it all up before it explodes. That's what's happening. He's keeping it down. He's putting his whole paycheck into it. He's getting paid in Bitcoin. I don't care what he says.
Account for the move in Bitcoin as speculation on an ETF being approved? And is it a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation, or is it just a straight shot if, in fact, that were to come to be?
I am sure there is some anticipation, and there could even be a sell on the news. But the fundamentals, we put out a Bitcoin monthly piece every month, and you can see the health of the network using our on-chain metrics. The health of the network is almost as good as it gets. And it seems like this is a bull market. Sure, we'll have puts and takes. Nothing goes straight up. But I think this flight to quality, Larry Fink used that expression. We call it flight to safety. You look at what happened during the regional bank crisis. Bitcoin went from 19,000 to nearly 30,000.
Isn't that crazy to think about? The banking crisis sent Bitcoin up to $30,000, and they think that Bitcoin's just insignificant, right? It's kind of crazy. It is crazy. And now to have Larry Fink stating that this is a flight to quality, it's... If you guys aren't bullish on this, I don't know what to tell you. There's no way this is not a great thing for Bitcoin as a whole. But again, double-edged sword. We've talked about it before. BlackRock controlling Bitcoin. That's a whole nother story.
As the KRE, the bank, the regional bank stock index, was imploding. If you look at the bank stock index today, it is back down close to where it was in March. So when Larry might say flight to quality, which is good, it's true, we would say flight to safety because there's no counterparty risk in Bitcoin.
In terms of the ETF that is launching, that invests in equities related to Bitcoin, what do you think will be the better performer over, let's say, 5 years? An ETF that invests in the equity related to Bitcoin or Bitcoin itself?
We believe Bitcoin will be the better performer longer term. But this is...
I wish they zoomed in on our face and they said that and they just did like a drop the mic thing. That was perfect. We think Bitcoin will be the better performer.
It's a diversified exposure through equities. There are companies, we're trying to find the company that is going to produce the digital wallet. That will be a very important position. Is it Coinbase? Is it Square with Cash App? Is it Robinhood? In Latin America, is it Mercado Libre or Nubank? So
how much overlap is there between this ETF that invests in the equity with the holdings in some of your other ETFs like ARK Invest?
Probably the biggest overlap would be ARKF, the fintech portfolio. Yes.
You just mentioned
You know what's funny, Dom G? So Dom G in the chat said everything is staged, LOL. But honestly, with the amount of interviews I've done personally on the channel and not given anybody, the questions ahead of time or things along those lines, most things aren't really staged. Like the questions and stuff are really usually genuine, at least from my experience anyways. I don't know about a lot of other people. Some people do ask for like questions ahead of time, but I usually don't interview those people. So it's typically all just off the cuff and answer it as you will. And I think that's how Kathy Wood is, because she speaks in a lot of public applications. So it's not like, she's new to doing this. I honestly genuinely think she is taking these questions just like right off the top of her head. That's my opinion.
A number of companies, all of whom have had stocks that have been challenged, including Robinhood. How do you think about those companies right now?
And Solana is going to be doing good things. She did just name drop Solana, which is crazy, or she will. I don't know if actually she just did or not. I was reading the chat.
Do you think that each of them has a very good opportunity in the digital wallet space? Basically, if you think about WeChat Pay, that kind of digital wallet where all financial services take place. There's peer-to-peer interaction. There's commerce over it. We believe that the rails in the United States have been good enough,
right?
But WeChat Pay showed the way, and I think we have.
But is that a one-player winner? Meaning, and by the way, Elon Musk would like to be that winner with X if he could be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
what's the most interesting about this to me? I just looked this up. I didn't know how old she was. She's 67 years old. She's 67 years old, and she gets that Bitcoin is the future. Man, I still I swear to God, I've had a YouTube channel for at least 3 years. My mother still thinks it's fake money, and so does everybody in my family. You know what I mean? It's still fake money, and that's literally same age as parents. You know what I mean? Like my parents. It's I don't know. That's crazy. It's crazy to me. What about your parents? Let me know in the chat if your parents still think it's fake money or not.
I think he's got big plans. Absolutely, he started in the fintech space, and
she does look ridiculously good for 67 for sure.
We're sold out to PayPal, so yeah.
I mean, Katie, on Coinbase, I used to go down and I had 4 pages of coins and eventually it got to the point where people said there's Bitcoin and everything else. Do you think is there an application for blockchain that involves something that Bitcoin does not lead the world with? Is there something else that you put in here?
Sure. The reason we have focused as much on Ether, Ethereum as we have is we think, that is the smart contract network. That is the decentralized finance network.
So Bitcoin and Ether, anything beyond that?
Well, there are infrastructure players. Solana is doing a really good job. I mean, if you look at Ether was faster and cheaper than Bitcoin in the day. That's how we got Ether.
This is it.
Solana is even faster and cost-effective than Ether. So, there are infrastructure plays. I
mean, the only thing that sucks, though, Solana had a few bumps in the road where the network was just absolutely effed in the last bull run. So I hope all the kinks have been ironed out at this point. You know what I mean? I'm assuming they are, but I guess we'll see.
Do you believe Web3, digital assets? That's a big idea, actually. Digital assets with property rights. First time ever online that we're seing property rights.
Do you think that some bears with Bitcoin have said, okay, there will be a Bitcoin 2.0 that someone comes up with? I don't know whether there's something more perfect.
She's talking about Bitcoin 2.0 right here, or they just asked the question. You know what? Isn't that what Kaspa's going for? I wonder if she even knows what Kaspa is. I really do. I wonder. A top 30 coin that came out in the bear market and has been progressively just getting better. It just broke its all-time high today. It's crazy.
Is there anything more perfect? Can there be something?
That'd be the closest one, I think.
I think most people understand that Bitcoin is the money revolution. This is the first global.
A lot of people don't understand that because they haven't read anything about it.
Right, private, so no government oversight, digital, very important, rules-based monetary system in history. And Art Laffer, my professor, mentor, and friend, when we did our first paper on and took our first position in Bitcoin in 2015, when he understood what this was, he said, I've been waiting for this since they closed the gold window in 1971.
Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Shout out to Kathy Wood over there on CNBC television. All right, let's get into this crypto world. CNBC television, ARK launches new crypto-focused ETFs and 21 shares partnership. And then they have some sort of podcast roundtable at the end. I don't know if we'll watch this whole thing. If you guys get bored of it, please let me know. But this kind of gives us the roundup of the news throughout the day yesterday. Let's get into it.
Today, ARK Invest and 21 Shares launch a suite of actively managed digital asset ETFs.
By the way, ARK Invest is Kathy Wood's part of that.
Base argues that spot Bitcoin ETFs will introduce crypto to a broader investor base. And in a crypto world exclusive, NBA star Spencer Dinwiddie and Solo Ceesay, the co-founders of Galaxy, break down a new feature on the platform. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Major cryptocurrencies in the red this morning. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin dropped more than 1.5%, trading close.
All you perverts in the chat better slow down right now. I saw it before Crypto KJ even said anything.
To the $36,000 mark. Ether fell more than 2%, but still traded above $2,000. However, Polygon's Matic token rose more than 3% after it was revealed this morning that inflation was flat last month compared to the month before, which could be a sign that those stubbornly high prices are finally easing.
Yeah, that's
okay. Let's talk about the top.
Borderline, not as professional as it should be. That's pretty rough. Yeah. Well, I guess her argument would be there is no top button. What do you mean? Like, you can't send me home. I don't have a top button.
Stories. Today, ARK Invest launched 5 new digital asset ETF products in partnership with 21 Shares. ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood joined Squawk Box this morning to discuss that new ETF suite.
With our partner 21 Shares, which is the largest crypto ETP provider in the world, mainly European focused, we are launching 5 ETFs. The strategies are going to be around Bitcoin futures, Ethereum futures. One will be Bitcoin futures and cash. One will be Bitcoin futures and Ethereum futures. And then the last one will be broader Bitcoin and companies exposed to digital assets, equities.
That's amazing. Mr. Bobby C says, haha, we're all degenerates. And yes, I agree.
So argued this morning that most people understand that Bitcoin is the, quote, money revolution.
This is the first global.
A lot of people don't understand that because they haven't read anything about it.
Right, private, so no government oversight, digital, very important, rules-based monetary system in history.
Next, sticking with crypto ETFs, as we wait to see if all those applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved, there are still a lot of investors on the sidelines of crypto unable to access the asset class. Well, in a new report that just came out this week, Coinbase argues that if approved, spot Bitcoin ETFs could introduce crypto markets to a wider investor base, including registered investment advisors, as well as retirement funds and other institutions that have historically been precluded from the asset class. The report notes that the opportunity is potentially much greater than just enabling new capital to access the crypto market, as ETFs will ease the restrictions for large money managers and institutions to buy and hold Bitcoin, which will improve liquidity and price discovery for all market participants. The report adds that having an investment vehicle that meets key regulatory and compliance requirements could open the door to new products like lending, futures, and options. That could increase existing crypto offerings for accredited investors and expand adoption.
Wait, lending? Lending? Like credit against Bitcoin? Is that what they're getting at? Such as lending, futures, and options? Isn't that's what they were talking about, right? Like legit lending money against your Bitcoin. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That could increase existing crypto offerings for accredited investors and expand adoption. At least 9 asset management firms, including BlackRock, WisdomTree, and Valkyrie, are waiting for SEC approval to issue a spot Bitcoin ETF.
That's a big deal, guys. That's really a big deal, to be honest. Lending against Bitcoin? That's wow. Yeah, that's impressive, actually.
Experts say the first approval could come early next year. All right, we have an exclusive interview for our main story. Yesterday at the NASDAQ, I caught up with the founders of Galaxy, a decentralized protocol dedicated to content creator monetization. Co-founders Solo Ceesay and NBA star Spencer Dinwiddie explained a new feature on the platform, which is set to drop later this week and is expected to make sending crypto or NFTs as simple as sending a text within the app.
I don't know what that had to do with NFTs. If this gets awful, we're going to change it.
Crypto prices recently have been moving higher. For example, Bitcoin recently hit $38,000 after being stuck in a tight range for months. So
a full neck shirt on here just because she's not by herself.
I'm curious, especially because Spencer, you have been bullish on crypto for years. What do you make of these higher prices? And do you think perhaps this is the start of crypto's next bull run? Your buddy Solo over here recently wrote a piece a few months ago talking about how crypto's next bull run will be like something we've never experienced. Do you agree? And do you think this could potentially be the start of the next bull run?
I think it's the very, very beginning stages. I think we probably have some more months before we see some explosive price action. but everybody's calling for 6 figures. I've seen people calling for as much as 10x, like 350,000. I don't know if I'm going to go that high, but I think crypto as a whole, Bitcoin specifically, is going to move up dramatically in this next bull run. It's going to.
Do you guys agree? 6 figures this bull run? I mean, I do. I think it will go over 6 figures, but I mean, let's be real. Just being devil's advocate, people have been saying 6 figures for like in the last bull run, people were saying 6 figures. You know what I mean? So take it with a grain of salt, but you know, just be wary when it gets up there, because like we could hit a freaking wall at 100K. Just being honest, it could, you know, hit that freaking sell order and then whatever, because people put their sells at like even spots, right? It'll be like, you know, 50K will be like a huge wall, 100K be like a huge wall, right? If people are smart, they'll do it like just under or just above, but like just in general, it's going to be a little hard to break that number, and if it is easy, it's going to blow right through it.
I actually think all markets are going to have a bull run in the next probably 2-3 years, but crypto is going to be explosive.
We'll see if that comes to fruition. Solo, what do you think are the factors at play? I know you noted that hopes that the Fed's vision for a soft landing coupled with a key technical event called the Bitcoin halving is giving some optimism to investors. You wrote that in your piece that we spoke about a couple of months ago, but what do you think are the factors at play right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we also have to take into account that crypto is still quite depressed from where it was in the last peak of the bull run. And so when you're thinking about all the different types of assets any sort of agnostic investor might buy, you know, the crypto still looks relatively cheap relative to anything else you can buy. Real estate still is trading quite high relative to where it's been. And so are a lot of other markets, so are stocks, and internationally as well. And so when you think about all the opportunities that are at the hands of investors, coupled by the fact that there's essentially, you know, the people that are left in the world of crypto truly believe in this space. So any sort of downward pressure is quickly absorbed by the people who are, you know, ready for that next bull market and, you know, talking about that the way that we have. And so it's one of those things where it's a very quite attractive, you know, entry point for people and looking to get exposure to the asset class.
Now, Spencer, you spoke with CNBC back in November of 2021. At the time, you noted that crypto is a new asset class and that it's here to stay, and that people who are thinking about investing in the space should think about it as a long-term investment. Here we are, crypto prices are moving higher once again, but of course, in 2022, we saw a lot of scandals and bankruptcies, most notably the collapse of FTX. We experienced a bear market. Did your stance change during that bear market, or do you still believe this asset class is here to stay and that people should really look at it as a long-term investment?
I wonder, I hope she asked them about like FTX, like that whole situation, if they were involved, like, you know, got burnt by it or not, and how that changed the sentiment of their thoughts. I wonder if that'll be a question.
Yeah, no, I believe the asset class is here to stay. Any asset class, anytime there's money involved, there's obviously going to be bad actors. So that's not unique to crypto. And I know that sometimes it's been marketed as such, as black market, or as it's the only asset class with scammers, et cetera. But that's just fundamentally not the case. I mean, we saw the subprime mortgage crisis, right, and things of that nature. And yeah, I mean, I always tell, you know, people to do their own research, to be in it for the long haul, just because, you know, when you're hoping and praying on a coin to go 100x in days, I mean, it's like buying a lottery ticket, you know, and I can't.
Or it's like buying Kaspa at the rate it's been growing. No, but did you guys hear him just say something about the mortgage industry, right? And when they just mentioned in the last video, or the beginning of this video rather, when she said the Bitcoin lending, that's what I was thinking. Like, people are going to be getting, if the lending thing comes to fruition, it's going to be, people are going to be able to get like house loans and stuff against your Bitcoin. Could you imagine how crazy that would be for the market? It would be huge. It would be absolutely huge.
Can't, in good faith, recommend anybody to do that. And sometimes it does happen, and sometimes people strike gold, but that's not what I recommend. And again, like I said, Bitcoin though, I think fundamentally is pretty strong. And then obviously if you look at blockchain technology as a whole, which underpins most crypto assets, it's a pretty transformative technology.
And it's quite impressive. Even amid this bear market, Galaxy was able to raise a significant amount of capital. In total, $33.5 million from backers, including Polygon and NFL player Ezekiel Elliott. How are you able to do that? And what does that signal to you? Solo, I'll start with you. And then Spencer, I'm curious to get your take as to what that signals to you, the fact that you guys were able to raise all that capital in a bear market.
Yeah, I mean,
real quick, Jim C said there are companies that allow you to borrow against your Bitcoin for mortgages. Really? There's already companies like that? Personally, I did not know that. That's actually fantastic. That's crazy.
I think it really speaks to the quality of our team, first and foremost. I think we have a great team. It definitely makes it easier getting to play with this guy all the time, too, trying to raise money. He's quite articulate. It's a very powerful tool when it comes to speaking to investors. But, also, I think our journey is quite authentic. Like, our journey started a number of years ago. I used to work out here in New York City as an investment banker. Spencer became the first NBA player to securitize himself. I was a securitization banker at the time. And I think, our journey predates that fundraising round for quite some time. And I think by, leading by example, being early to the conversation and being a disruptor has definitely helped us position ourselves as leaders in that market when it comes to talking about the market opportunity of, reinventing the creator economy, but then also making crypto technologies usable. And so I think for us, we greatly benefited from that. I think the timing was also a little better than it was, right now. But, I think our vision has been really clear. And I think we've been authentic as a team for quite some time. And that's definitely been felt by our investor community. And, we have great backers, Polygon, Ezekiel Elliott, like you mentioned, is a good friend and backer of the project, but also Hedera and the HBAR Foundation have done a great job in supporting the project and getting it, into the visible minds of people.
Real quick, so I just looked it up. Looking at this, it says this is one of the CoinDesk articles. It says the latest crypto boom has created fortunes for many, and some of them are looking to buy real estate with their new riches. There are plenty of examples of real estate developers who are keen to accept cryptocurrencies as payment, but for certain crypto investors, selling the digital assets is a no-go. For them, crypto mortgages, loans for buying real estate where the collateral is crypto. Where the collateral is crypto is the solution. If I could talk today and read. Last August, United Wholesale Mortgage, the second largest mortgage lender in the U.S., announced a plan to start accepting Bitcoin payments, but backed off a few weeks later. So I wonder if there is other companies that actually didn't back off, but that's neat. I didn't know that was a thing.
Spencer, what about you? What does this all signal?
The fundraising effort specifically, or just the
fundraising efforts, the fact that you were able to raise all that capital amid a bear market?
I think he's being modest. Solo as our CEO, working literally down the street, Wharton Business School grad, extremely sharp individual. There's not many acting CEOs in our space that speak like he does, have the stick-to-itiveness, the go-getter nature. Some of that maybe because he has an athletic background as well, and that then obviously bleeds into the authenticity and how we can kind of both step into both worlds, right? Obviously he's fully in the business community now, but he still is able to have the conversations with athletes, influencers, et cetera. And then obviously me being more on that entertainment side and stepping away from some of the day-to-day business of the project also adds, a certain amount of validity and credibility as well. So I think it's a great management effort between the two of us, but predominantly him, and then obviously our entire team. I mean, they do a phenomenal job. I call our lead designer Chad LeBron all the time. So shout out Chad, because that's the GOAT.
And I understand it has been about 4 years of development and building, and Galaxy officially launched back in August. Can you take our viewers through exactly what to expect from Galaxy, how it works? I understand it's meant to empower the content creator and artists and to allow them to directly interact with their fans. What else can people expect from Galaxy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the easiest way to think about Galaxy is that it's a non-custodial crypto wallet that actually does things. And so what we've
Real quick, Mr. Luke, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He said you may want to bring up that anyone using Uphold in quotations as of this AM, they can now withdraw Kaspa to cold storage. This is also helping move the price up. You know what? I actually have all my Kaspa, which is I mean, yeah, in you know, cold storage or self custody. It's on my Tangem. I do have a link in the description below if you guys are interested in Tangem. It's like a little NFC card and an app on your phone. You like have to scan the card, put in a PIN code, and then scan it again. But it's it is nice to have a wallet that's not like just a core wallet on your desktop to hold Kaspa. So huge shout out to that team for doing all the right things. It's awesome.
We've used the peer-to-peer network system for primarily to this date, and what we've been known for is obviously allowing content creators to be able to monetize digital experiences with their fans. So they can offer things like video calls, video messages, exclusive content, NFTs, custom experiences, and more. And that is all accessible via the crypto wallet. That's where they get paid. They get paid out in USDC. Like I mentioned, we're built on Hedera, which obviously allows very fast, easily transfers of value. But also, Galaxy is a non-custodial wallet that allows you to do you know, a lot of different things like call your friend, or, you know, be able to have a social feed and experience tied to that wallet that makes the wallet worth coming back to each and every day.
Now,
are they designing their own wallet? Is that what's going on here? Is that what they're kind of getting into right now?
You mentioned Hedera. When Galaxy launched, Hedera tweeted that social media is going through a revolution, and Galaxy is at the, quote, forefront. Spencer, you actually tweeted when Galaxy launched saying that Galaxy is similar to the social media that we're all accustomed to, but the tools and the opportunities are different. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously some of that goes to the fact that we're built on Hedera, so we can do microtransactions. Also, Hedera, unlike other blockchains, has a predictable fee structure. So, you know, in the rise and crash of a typical crypto market, it's not gonna, you know, mess up your asset value or your ability to interact with fans, you know, with like gas fees, etc. And then again, like we built it to look like Web 2, so it was a very familiar product. So it had a very user-friendly interface, and then obviously the underpinning allowed us to do some more special things in terms of transfer of assets, etc.
I understand you guys are here today to make a bit of an announcement. A new feature is dropping this week on Galaxy, and I understand that this new feature allows people to essentially send crypto or NFTs like you would a text within the Galaxy app. So can you take us through this new interactive platform and this new feature?
Yeah.
That sounds a little dangerous. That sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you open up Galaxy, it's a traditional social experience. You'll look to notice that it has a very familiar social layout. Like Spencer mentioned, you'll have your home feed. You'll very easily be able to do things like create a new post or interact with your friends, go through profiles, you know, navigate through your wallet, see all the different types of assets and NFTs that you have. But to discuss our new feature, which will be dropping this Thursday, which will allow you to send crypto without the need for a public key. Essentially what you're able to do is we wanted to an analog sending crypto to the idea of sending a picture or a meme in today's world, right? So currently, if you wanted to send crypto, I need your public key or whatever it is. It's that 40 number, you know, alphanumeric phrase. It's confusing. If you mess up one number, your money's gone forever.
Which is very scary.
Which is very scary.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Which is why a lot of older people don't want to get into self-custody in their Bitcoin.
For us, we think that sending crypto should be no more difficult than sending a text. And so the two ways...
But that's a double-edged sword, though. It could be, yeah, you want to make it easy for people to be able to send, you know, their crypto in and out. I get it, right? But at the same time, you're lacking security if you do that.
Which you might do that and obviously go to, you know, the person's conversation, or potentially go to your gallery, click an image and share it to your friend. And so what I'm actually going to do here is live right now, I'm going to send Spencer 500 USDC on the Hedera network.
You're a lucky guy, Spencer.
I'm gonna need that back.
No,
because
no. You owe me dinner anyway.
Obvious reasons.
I'm gonna need that back because we're in a bear market.
You owe me dinner anyway.
He's not an NBA player like you.
But if you go through and you go over to the send crypto portion of the application, you're hit with a slide up panel. You can navigate through all the different assets you have in the wallet. So we plan on supporting a number of different chains. I'm gonna pick USDC here. I'm gonna tap in 500 and I'm going to send that to Spencer.
He only has $32,000 in there, no big deal.
Like this, you can now see that the USDC has been sent to Spencer and he has probably received it on his end. So if you go over to the transfer details, you can see all of the stuff.
500 USDC, you're a lucky guy. Can
but it
you
still has to
send
go
me
through
some
on the
next?
chain.
I guess we're all good.
I'm out.
So it doesn't matter how fast the text is, right? It still has to go through the whole chain.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, that's essentially a feature that we're going to be launching this Thursday, which will allow all different types of users on the platform. As we mentioned before, this is the first non-custodial wallet.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't even want to watch the rest of this. I think this wallet is going to have some issues at some point. That's really lackluster when it comes to security. I don't think that's very smart, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's get into this. Mr. Altcoin Daily, my man, dropped a video. Mr. Austin talking about Cathie Wood again. The crypto bull run is about to go effing insane, or crazy rather. 8-day warning. I don't know what that's about. I honestly didn't get to watch much of this. Yeah, let's see what it's all about. If you guys have any questions, at me in the chat. Guys, hit that like button. We have 114 people here, 58 likes. I would appreciate it. If we get up to 100 likes, it'd be amazing.
The health of the network is almost as good as it gets, and it seems like this is a bull market.
Famed investor Cathie Wood, CEO of ARK Invest, just went on CNBC this morning and confirmed a few things.
This is a...
Oh, that's right. That's right. Isn't it? There's a deadline for the ETF approved in 8 days. Is that what it's about? ETF approved or not in 8 days. I thought it was the 17th, though, was one of the deadlines. If I'm not mistaken. It was like 2 days from now, not 8.
Global.
I could be wrong.
Anyone owning Bitcoin knows this is global. This is not...
Oh, there it is. He zoomed in on her face. I said that during when we were watching this. That's funny.
Just a U.S. opportunity, and it's big. And, you know, if you look at both Ether and Bitcoin, our expectation is, well, that the crypto asset ecosystem will be dominated by those two, and that it is going to scale from a little more than $1 trillion today to $25 trillion in 2030 as this new world builds out. This is almost, I mean, I was at the beginning of the internet. Not really, that was DARPA and everything, but as we were studying it in the market in the 90s, this feels like that again.
And what she says next will shock you.
The reason we have focused as much on Ether, Ethereum as we have is we think...
But if you hold crypto, important, the 8-day window for the approval of 12 Bitcoin spot ETFs is closing soon. Cathie Wood owns one of them.
If you look at the pecking order, our filing is next in line.
No. Oh, damn it. I was trying to pause it right on it. Let's see. Hold on.
One of them.
If you look at the pecking order, our filing...
All right, so let's see. Whoa, 17th. Yeah, 17th. Why does it say 8 days? 8 days? That'd be the 20... What's today? Yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess it would be... No, that's still not 8 days. Am I wrong? Am I seeing something wrong? What's happening? I don't know why he has 8 days on there. But yeah, so these two, and then... Yeah, I guess. Weird.
Is next in line.
No, I know you're on the list.
This will lead to huge demand for actual Bitcoin in the space, meaning these funds will be forced to buy Bitcoin. But if they aren't accepted within the next 4 days, then we may have to wait until January 2024.
Can we talk about spot Bitcoin though? What is the current timeline? I know that you and some others...
I so thought that was Anna Kendrick. Am I wrong? Does she not look like Anna Kendrick? I haven't seen this before, but that caught me off guard. I thought that was her.
Been tweeting about windows. Apparently, we're in one of them in terms of when we could see the 19B4s approved.
This guy looks like Anchorman.
Yeah, so there's B4. You've got to walk us through that kind of jargon first.
Yeah, 19B4 is basically you file for a rule change proposal and in this case the rule change proposal is to list Bitcoin ETFs, spot Bitcoin ETFs, and so there's all these deadlines and clocks. But all you really need to know is right now there's a window. There's 12 different.
All right, if you don't know who Anna Kendrick is, there you go. That's her. The girl. She's in like a bunch of movies.
Spot Bitcoin ETF applications right now out there. There's a window right now where there's no comment periods. There's nothing that SEC has to do in all of them. So theoretically, if they really wanted, they could approve all of them at once. We also don't we're not as tied up on that window. Yes, that's possible, but also, like I said, there's 12 filings. 9 of them, it doesn't matter. Anytime from now to January 10th, they can be approved and theoretically list at some point within that time range. There's 2 processes that need to go on here. There needs to be an S1 approval and a 19B4 approval. 19B4 is the one that everyone's been watching, the one we've been watching closely, and the one that we think is going to happen by January 10th.
So looking at the Bitcoin price, since the start of the year, start of 2023, Bitcoin has been rallying into the expectation of an approval. Is this all just hype? Or is there some clear substance, some change in the SEC where they would approve.
And the question is actually at $36,000, do you think that the move that we've seen in Bitcoin over the last, I don't know, what, 2 months now, how much of that is a function of sort of a pent-up demand or an anticipation that the SEC, because folks like BlackRock and Fidelity and you and others have made these applications, have this sense that it's more likely to happen now than it was a year or two ago?
Yeah. So real quick, before she answers, I mean, we've already seen this, but I think, right, just it's a classic buy the rumor, sell the news. Like that is what's happening. Okay, the big guys got in on the initial news. They're going to wait until everybody else joins the run, and then it's going to have some sort of pullback, I would say, before the halving or around the halving, and then, you know, we're not going to see the initial actual bull run until probably a year out from after the halving or towards the end of next year anyways, because the halving's in like April, right, if I'm not mistaken, 2024. So just keep that in mind.
And is that misguided? Is that realistic? What is that?
I think what has happened, the change, is that the SEC actually asked us questions. I think asked us questions, asked BlackRock, probably has asked a lot. Whereas before, our filings were just rejected outright. Hand.
Okay.
So that is movement. That is significant. And, you know, over the years, I've gotten to know the research people at the SEC, and I'm very impressed. And I was impressed by the questions they asked us, too. So
what were the kinds of questions they asked?
A lot of them were very technical. They're all about protecting the consumer.
And now we may have that clarity why the head of the SEC, Gary Gensler, who was hand-picked back in the day by Elizabeth Warren.
Somebody needs to make a meme of that and just put her tongue in his ear.
Warren, why even though Gary Gensler clearly understands the technology behind Bitcoin extremely well, why she believes he may be holding the spot Bitcoin ETF hostage.
He taught at MIT about, so he understands that it's not a Ponzi scheme or a Beanie Baby. Right. So there has to be something else.
Well, I don't know what it is. I have wondered. There's speculation that he's interested in the Treasury Secretary position at some point. What does the...
Don't let him fool you. He's buying all the Bitcoin. He's getting paid his whole paycheck in Bitcoin. He just doesn't want it to go up before he can accumulate enough to be rich.
Treasury
Protecting fiat for the government? I mean,
very focused on... I don't know.
And while we will talk about traditional markets, as well as the latest CPI inflation data, which just came out today, let's just be very clear. Is this a case of buy the rumor, then maybe sell the news?
How much do you account for the move in Bitcoin as speculation on an ETF being approved? And is it a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation, or is it just a straight shot if, in fact, that were to come to be passed?
I am sure.
I guess I subconsciously heard him say that, right? But yeah, that's, I mean, it's true. I truly believe that it is a buy the rumor, sell the news event where all the big guys, as soon as they got wind of it, they threw all their money in, or not all of it, but you know what I mean? Just a decent chunk of guys would throw their money in, right? Or people in general, men and women included. But yeah, and then, you know, once average Joes, Timmys, all of us get all hyped up over the excitement, they're going to freaking dump it as soon as the CTF thing comes out. I mean, I would expect a pullback after it actually does get approved. That's my opinion.
There is some anticipation, and there could even be a sell on the news. But the fundamentals, we put out a Bitcoin monthly piece every month, and you can see the health of the network using our on-chain metrics. The health of the network is almost as good as it gets. And it seems like this is a bull market. Sure, we'll have puts and takes. Nothing goes straight up. But I think this flight to quality, Larry Fink used that expression. We call it flight to safety. You look at what happened during the regional bank crisis. Bitcoin went from 19,000 to nearly 30,000 as the KRE, the regional bank stock index, was imploding. If you look at the bank stock index today, it is back down close to where it was in March.
Now, the latest...
Who in the chat just said it? They think that Kaspa will pump while Bitcoin's tanking. And to be honest, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. So I would personally, if I could give, like, I don't want to give financial advice, but what I'm going to personally do is when this ETF thing comes to, you know, closer to approval, I am personally probably going to end up swapping some Bitcoin into Kaspa at that point. because I think the gains could be bigger, but there's also a risk the losses could be greater as well. So again, double-edged sword, just be careful from what you do, you know.
Results for inflation are in. Headline CPI came in at 3.2%, lower than expectations, and core CPI came in at 4%, again lower than expectations.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Nerd Beast. He said Kaspa pumps because miners hold. And that's very true, actually. I didn't even think of it like that because like the people that are holding Kaspa are the miners, right? I mean, obviously with all these new Ice River machines that are coming out, it's yeah, I mean, it's the hot topic. It's taken over the mining industry by storm as of right now, right? So yeah, that's a very, very good point. That's a very good point.
It's bullish, meaning you can see the effects of the Fed starting to take hold. Maybe disinflation is now more likely than hyperinflation. And now that we know that this was better than expectations, maybe that means now the Fed can lighten up even more on suppressing markets. Notice what Fundstrat Global Advisor Managing Partner Tom Lee said yesterday. So this was a day before the results. He'll talk about how the S&P, this is the month chart on the S&P, rallied into this news, meaning the market expected favorable results. And if the results would have been higher, more heated, what would that mean? Or lower, less heated, closer to what we got, what does that mean?
Brian, you...
Interesting. Real quick, Steven Cicero. So do what Chum Change does, and when it fails, blame him. No, absolutely not. It's not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I will most likely be doing, just to, like, you know, be on top of it, because there ain't no damn way it's just going to continue to go up after that point. We're going to see something. Like, the big guys always manipulate the price, man. It always happens. Kaspa will dump when Frank wants new BTC ASICs. You talking about crypto, Frank?
You might be surprised, but I think institutional investors and retail have been fighting this rally. You can see it in the put-call ratio. Yes. The put-call ratio today hit 1.26. That's an extremely elevated reading. It's been rising the last 2 weeks. And if you look since the October 27th rally, every time an intraday 1.2 is or higher has been hit, we've rallied hard the next day. So I think into this print, if it's a little hot, I think people end up having to buy this dip because hedge funds have been shorting this rally. I know sentiment's negative, but I actually think the probabilities favor a slightly softer reading. The skew is for a hot reading, and I think we could get something that could feel like a face ripper like we had in July. So there's a possibility of quite a positive move tomorrow if it's a soft reading.
So basically, markets are likely to go up if it's hot, and markets are likely to go up a lot more if it's cold.
That's right.
Core CPI year over year, anything under 4.2 is bullish for him.
So you're looking at the month over month, not the year over year that I referenced.
Yes, but the year over year matters. On the core, it's still 4.2 year over year. So something below 4.2 would be considered a soft side reading.
Face ripper.
Possibly face ripper.
If you're invested in cryptocurrency, make sure you subscribe. We drop one video per day, keeping you informed.
People are worried about a hard landing and inflation being
bearish for 20 years, Tom.
That's exactly the point.
Which is funny because everybody knocks CNBC. They're always like, you guys are always pumping the market. It's like everybody I know is bearish constantly. You know what I mean?
That's right. I think...
and wrong.
He's not wrong. He's really not wrong. That's
correct.
Funny.
I think people forget that stocks tend to surprise us against what consensus is thinking. And I would say put call doesn't lie. Prime brokerage positioning doesn't lie. The CTA chart shows the constellation of data shows people are still net short, not a believer in a seasonal year-end rally. That's a non-consensus view.
Like always, see you tomorrow.
Very, very interesting. Shout out to my man, Mr. Austin over at Altcoin Daily. All right. That's pretty much going to do it. We're going to go through the wrap-up segment now. All right. So I guess, you know, take it with a grain of salt, what I just said about the whole Bitcoin ETF stuff, right? So like I said, it's probably, at least in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is the big money already put their money in at the beginning, right? They're letting us pump it up. And once the ETF comes out, they're going to dump a bit, get people scared, buy back in. That's what they do, right? So, I mean, that's what I'm expecting. But again, I'm not a trader. I don't give financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. You guys let me know what you think about it down in the comments below or in the chat as of right now. Let me see if there's any other questions or concerns you guys would like to talk about. Let's actually, you know what, real quick, let's check out Kaspa. I want to see how it's doing because we didn't actually look at the chart and I meant to. Let me get it open here real quick because Kaspa just hit its new all-time high. Damn, it's still at 10.8. Still at 10.8. Let's see. Look at that. 10-8. Kaspa still ranking 32 in top 100 coins. That's freaking crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Let me see. 10-9. About an hour ago it hit. Yeah, so when I posted this live, it was hitting its all-time high. Almost hit 11 cents. That is freaking crazy. Are you guys in on Kaspa? Has anybody like purchased Kaspa like a couple weeks ago when it was like 4 cents, 5 cents? Let me know in the chat. Sorry, I'm like friggin' crazy. All right, anyways, let's see. Fighting the urge to sell. Nerd beast, dude. You know what? I'm there with you. I'm there with you. So my VIPs know. I actually told them as soon as I did it. I ended up swapping Bitcoin for Kaspa. So I swapped in total. It was probably 7 grand into Kaspa. Back at like 4 cents, 5 cents. And obviously it was a good decision. So I was debating whether to take my money back out and then just let the rest ride or just risk it. I don't know. It's a big hit though if I lose it, so I'll be pretty pissed. But do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. I could ride it back down to 5 cents, break out even, and be fine with it. But you know what? You ain't if you're not risking it, you're not. But risk it to get the biscuit. Is that what Mr. Geek of All Trades says? Most hillbilly shit I could possibly say on the morning live stream, but that's what he says. Risk it to get the biscuit. So I'm chasing that biscuit. By the way, Mr. Geek of All Trades, if you guys don't know who he is, absolutely fantastic content creator. He's obviously new up and coming, and he's just about to hit 10K. If you guys haven't been to his channel, please go check him out. I'm gonna let me put his link in the chat. Let me just pull him up here quick. And yeah, dude, he's at 9.89. Let me show you guys. So he's a real good dude. Real good dude, good friend of mine. So I'm gonna put this link in the chat. If you guys are interested, go check him out. We will be doing some sort of live streams together. Oh, there we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. Yeah, we'll be doing some sort of live streams together, possibly on like Sundays, but we have to get it all situated. So we're gonna be doing some sort of side show on the side of Mr. Mining Saturday Night Live. But anyways, guys, I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with me this morning. I'll see you guys bright and early again, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or so, 8 a.m., 8:15-ish. And yeah, we'll go from there. So until next time, guys, have a good one, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out. Don't forget, use the link above for the 5% off your Kaspa miner if you guys are interested. Peace.